Welcome to the Self-Report Podcast. Today is Transvisibility Day. Woo!
Woo! I wish I could clap more.
Alice is trans.
What?
I'm sorry, I hate to break it to you.
Okay.
And we're here with Alice.
Hello.
Yeah, and we're also here with my co-host Zomner.
Hello, I'm Zomner.
And today, and I'm Crystal Caliber, duh. Anyway, so today we're going to talk about Alice's life, and we're going to talk about your journey as a trans woman, and yeah, I'll probably make you uncomfortable, so that's going to be cool.
Cool. Because this couch is doing a great job already.
Wait, why?
No, it's a nice couch. I like it.
I love this couch.
It's a nice couch. Very nice couch.
This couch was in my room for a really long time,
Yeah.
and then I rearranged everything.
No, it's actually quite
I mean, it
comfortable.
really only just got covered with my clothes. I don't think only Jeff ever would use it to sleep in my room. We'd do sleepovers, yeah. But outside of that, it was just
I slept on
a
it.
bench. Yeah, you did it a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah. When
Good
I was
couch,
scared.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a good couch. It's a good couch. Big Lots. Anybody remember them?
We should just
Shouts
talk. I don't think they're out here on the West Coast.
No, they are. That's
Yeah.
literally where
Big
I got
Lots?
this couch from.
Mhm.
I
Oh.
literally got this couch from Big Lots.
Oh.
Yeah, I think I paid like $350 for it, or $250. It was like one of the first things I bought, just for like no reason, because it was pink. Like I didn't really need a couch, but I was just like, why not? You know, why not?
That's how we ended up with like 4 or 5 couches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kinda.
'Cause we have,
I
like,
mean, like, why not?
We have like 2 extra couches.
Well, one is from Goodwill and one was from Jason, and then one I bought on Amazon because it was a pull-out bed, and it wasn't a very good pull-out bed. It
And
actually
one's
sucked.
from Big Lots.
Yeah, and then one was from Big Lots.
Mm.
Yeah. But I mean, like, why not? We have a lot of people over all the time, and, you know, you need a place to sit.
So then we got
Sitting's
3
cool.
more chairs from Goodwill.
Yeah, and then we have 3 more. That used to be the old podcast set, and then I kind of hated it because no one could really look at each other, so I felt like I was in like a little dome.
The separate
And then
chairs.
no
thing,
one, I
yeah.
couldn't see or hear anybody. I was just like, it's me. You know, like it didn't vibe.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
little dome for that. Remember that arcade game that used to have like the beach, like I don't remember the name of that
What
game.
the fuck
but
are you
they
talking
know
about?
they know what I'm talking about. There's a
Who?
little
Who's
arcade
they?
game. There's a little
Listeners.
arcade
Happy
game.
Transvisibility Day.
They know it. But there was a little arcade game, and you would go and put the dome over your head, and there was like a beach, kind of like shooter game.
Never
I
played.
don't know what you're talking about.
They know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
In the comments.
The
Do we have
one
comments?
comment that we're gonna get.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's in that comment.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope someone answers this question.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
Anyway, but let's just start off with.
Listening.
Do you know that the meme of the pastor guy that goes, "Are you gay?" or whatever? You know that meme?
I do.
That's literally what I wanted to say, but that's not what I should say. No, I want to know what it was like for you when you were like young, and I want to hear maybe like what you think is the first memory you have of thinking like, I think something's going on here. Can you talk to me about that?
The first memory I have?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember because I got a couple moments in my childhood that are like kind of like the main like inside out core memories. You know what I mean? Like where it turns into the ball of color. All blue, every single memory. No, I'm kidding. From Inside Out fans. I would say there was in the 5th grade, I brought a purse to school. And that was a debacle. After that day I brought that purse to school, I never did it ever again. Because I got called to the principal's office. And it was,
no.
it was like a whole thing. The whole school knew about it. And then this girl tried to punch me. This is all real, yeah. So I never wrote a purse after that day. I was like, I had to lie to them and tell them I did it as like a dare, like somebody dared me to do it, like a friend, and then like I just like didn't bring it back the next day. I remember too. It was like a little cute green purse. It had like checkered pattern on it, white and green. It was cute. Yeah, stole it from my mom. Yeah, so that was weird. It was like, okay. And then there's also the one we did, me and my family did old-timey photos at the boardwalk.
Oh, I know, sir. Yeah.
And my brothers and my dad all dressed as cowboys, and me and my mom dressed as like saloon girls or something with like dresses.
Yeah.
So those are the two. I just don't know which one I was older or younger. And then 8th grade for Halloween, I was a schoolgirl. I don't know. My parents let me do it. And that was like a core memory for me. But I would say 5th grade probably be like, yeah, the purse one. But I was like traumatized from that. They're like, you're a boy, you can't bring a purse to school. You can't. I feel like you can't say that anymore.
No, you get
I got
it.
called to the principal's office.
What grade was this?
5th, so I
Fifth,
was
okay.
probably 10.
All right.
So how old you are in 5th grade? Every time someone asks me
Yes.
a question about grade school, I have to do math because
I just guessed because isn't it kindergarten you're 5, so 5th grade you're 10.
Yeah.
That's genius. I need to use that.
Yeah,
You're right.
It's just multiples of 5 all the way up.
Well, you
to
know, some people went to kindergarten.
kindergarten. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why, but like my grandpa always used to say kindergarten, so I
Kindergarten?
have to stop myself from saying it.
Kindergarten. I'm saying it correctly.
Kinder. Yeah, like a kinder egg.
Kindergarten.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Kinder egg.
some kids went to preschool.
Wait, is preschool not kindergarten?
No, preschool's a school before school, and then
Yeah.
you go to
No,
kindergarten.
wait. So preschool's and then kindergarten. How the fuck old are you in preschool?
No, kindergarten is, and then it's preschool, and then it's school.
I
No.
it's not here? No.
I don't know, man. My school was fucked up, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's like 4.
Are you cool if you go to preschool, or is that like a
No, I think it's just like your parents
are
didn't
sick of
like
you?
that they had kids, so they wanted to get rid of them as much as possible.
Oh.
Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe they wanted them to start school a year earlier because they thought it would.
Because they want them to be smart.
Yeah,
That might be.
but you're like 4, so like, what are you doing?
Um,
Does that answer your question?
I don't remember what I asked you.
You asked me what my first.
Oh, right.
memory was.
I thought we were talking about school. Anyway, yeah, that answers my question. I mean, like, what possessed you to bring the purse, though?
Demons.
Huh?
What possessed me to? What was the question?
I just got what you meant. I like didn't understand what you were saying.
What possessed me to bring the
Yeah,
purse?
like what were you thinking?
When I brought the purse to school?
Yeah.
It was around the age, so this is my 10-year-old brain. It was around the time when all of the girls in my class, like 5th and 6th grade, because that was the school we all, 5th and 6th graders were in the same school. That was around the age that the girls started bringing purses. So like before that, like girls didn't even have purses either because we were like just kids.
Yeah.
So now the girls started bringing purses, and I was like, what the heck? Why do they get to bring purses? So then I tried to bring a purse. And that was like not cool. I had a coin purse and everything.
I feel like that's crazy to me because like we weren't even allowed to have like anything like at school. Like if I had brought a purse to school, they would have probably yelled at me
You
too.
went to a Catholic school, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, they're a little bit more strict.
Yeah, there's
Went to
something.
a public school, anything kind of.
Did you get to wear whatever you wanted at school?
Yeah.
That's fucking insane to me. That's so crazy to me.
Yeah, like there was a dress code, but it was just like nothing could be like too ripped, too torn. Like if you wore like if girls wore like a skirt or anything, it had to be below fingertips. There was a short level.
What?
You know what I
Below
mean?
fingertip. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, like fingertips. So like if you put your fingertips at your side, yeah.
Oh, yeah, no. We had like I don't know. We had a dress code like when we had like dress down day, but it would be like pretty strict on top of that.
Yeah, no, most people.
But
kinda
also
were.
like I don't know. I think
Nothing offensive.
Catholic schools were kind of slutty a little bit though, if you think about it.
I did. That's why in 8th grade I was a Catholic schoolgirl for Halloween.
Oh. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Did you have a dress code?
No,
You could wear whatever you wanted.
pretty much, yeah. I never got into trouble, and I never remember anyone getting into trouble for wearing pretty much anything. Like, or maybe I was too like, I lived in a smaller countryside, so it was like whatever, don't care. And it's like, yeah, maybe in a bigger city it might be different, but
Did
in
you
a
have girls
regular
at your school?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they pretty much did what I think there might be some like decency, I don't know, decency law, but like something like, okay, you cannot wear like a skimpy shirt or something, but I never heard of like any regulation. No, I don't think any kid like did something like that. So no, I don't remember anything like that.
God, if I could go back to being my 8th grade body, I would do so many things different. but
Like what?
like take HRT and transition.
well, no shit. Yeah.
I have a question.
What's
if you
your
don't mind.
question?
I was like, if this is too deep, also we can go. But like, I'm really fascinated by at what point in your life, because I was trying to think about this as well. Like, at what point were you aware of like trans people, like at the concept of trans?
That's a good question.
Aware of them and
As a concept.
aware
like,
of them as a concept, and then thinking it was something I can do or like different things.
Sure,
because
sure, yeah.
I think when I like myself or like most people my age probably first became aware of trans people, we weren't saying trans person or transgender. Like it was different terms being thrown around that
Right.
were more offensive.
Yeah.
And they were like the early on transgender people were viewed more as like, I don't want to say freaks, but that's how the world viewed them.
Yeah.
So like I think I was very much aware of trans people early on, but it was like radical. I was like, oh, that's crazy, but like I've watched a lot of YouTube videos and stuff of like, you know, like early on stuff, but like I don't know when the term transgender, like I don't think I found that about that term until I was like in my 20s. Like, and then I was like, wait, this is something I'm allowed to do. Like I've known about them for a long time, but I didn't realize it was so easily accessible to everybody.
I think like 23 for me.
Yeah.
22 or 23.
Yeah. 23 and me, yeah.
Yes.
So for me, I think I'm trying to remember. I think I was 14. I think I was in 8th grade, like on a health class, like, or what do you call it, like where you learn about
Sex ed.
Yeah, sex ed
Yeah.
and personal health and like understanding about like all that stuff. So it was like I think we had like a class where we talk about sexuality, and of course when you're on like a teenager, everybody's like laughing and just like, oh, you talk about homosexuality and bisexuality and like, but like I don't remember. I think transsexuality was one of the terms, but I always like think before that, like, yeah, you've heard the slurs before because I was at the time, so I did not know what it means. But I always like associated that also with like transvestite, which is I know it's different, but like I thought like, oh, those are used like changeability. There's no
Yeah.
difference. But now I'm like more aware. I don't remember at what point I became more. Maybe it was in the class. Maybe it was like little like years after I became more aware of like, no, those are separate concepts. Like can be like pretty close, but at the same time, no. One is about what one person is like, and one is like what someone like or anyone can be. Like more about like exploring this with like just clothing, and one is more about the sexuality and more about the what would be the nice word the inner self of like,
Yeah.
hey, this is what I am.
Yeah, because I always knew, like, I think when I was younger, like through grade school and then high school, it's like, oh yeah, like you knew people would like, yeah, I think it was like, I think the term like transvestite got thrown around, or trans, there's something else.
Yeah.
It was like the cross-dresser thing where it's like, oh, that person wears the other gender's clothes or women's
Yeah.
clothes or something. Well, it's interesting too because then you have like subcategories of that where I feel like a lot of girls like who are discovering, oh, I can be a man, like I can transition. So then they're like, oh, that's what I want to do. So then I think when trans men would do that stuff at an early age, it was like, well, you're just a tomboy. You know what I
you're just a
mean?
tomboy.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
you're just ugly, so you hide.
No,
Well,
no.
no. That was something that used to happen to friends of mine a lot, where they'd be
Well,
like, "Oh, you're just ugly.
Oh,
You're fat.
so
you're hiding."
doing that
Yeah,
as
you're
a
hiding.
way to
yeah.
like, yeah. I mean, I can. It's mean, like,
Yeah.
yeah, but
But it's not like nearly like, it's not nearly as bad as it could have been there.
yeah, but yeah, I would say early 20s.
Right.
Actual term transgender, if that answers your question.
Yeah.
I think because I don't know if I don't want to make it about me, but I'm also trying to figure out like when I became more like directly I did not know any like trans people in my youth, like or maybe I did, but I didn't know them, like and that maybe I've just skipped
Yeah,
that, like then there's
you
I
know how
lived in
many
a-
people probably say they didn't know any
Yeah.
trans people, but
Yeah.
like I've been friends with them.
Who's the first trans person you ever knew?
I think so. There's this person. I think I met them through RPG circles when I was I did my studies in the University of Applied Sciences, and then I think when I found out with this RPG circle, there were a bunch of people. I think I don't want to assume because I never like talked to him, but I think that was like first face to face like meeting with a person. Like maybe there were other people. I'm trying to remember, but I remember one person in the that was like I like when they introduced themselves, like, oh, it was like I didn't say it, but it was like they were like. I realized like, oh, they're trans. I don't remember, did they say that or like, or did somebody else make it obvious? But like, this is very. Well, what's going on?
shirt.
Oh, my shirt. Yeah, what's about? Yeah, sorry. So it's very much a problem.
I'm sorry.
But anyway, but yeah, I think I met like people in my 20s, like, but I'm trying to remember like. Until I moved to like Helsinki in the capital area, then I would meet like in like social areas and like have friends or friends of friends who would be trans, and I'd be like, all right, yeah, sure, whatever. Like, you know, it's there are people. I would be like,
I hope so.
Yeah, no, but like for some people are like I don't know. Well, for
I'm
some
not
it'd be like
convinced.
so
I'm a person.
Oh,
I'm still working on it. Yeah.
no, I'm not saying it's perfect in my country, but I do believe as I was getting older, I think it became like, I think it was the same time like things here like in America became more visible through internet and everything. Also became wait like no, these people are here and we shouldn't be talking like badly about them. They are like they have feelings and they're real and there could be your friends and everything. It's just like oh wait, yeah, we've been talking all this mad shit like on like popular culture, and it's like maybe you like rethink and have more empathy on life, and so it's like yeah.
Yeah,
Does that answer your question?
I think so. I mean, the first trans person I ever met, the first time I met someone who was openly trans, and it was in high school. It was one of our friends had dated this person, and then they were like, "Yeah, I think I'm a dude." And then I remember me and Brett were like, "We don't understand what this means, really." We were really stupid back then, and also Catholic school. But like later, yeah, it was really interesting, like to figure it out. And I never felt any kind of way about it. And then later, of course, you know what I mean. When my mom started to have opinions, it was like, yeah, very similar to like a J.K. Rowling type opinions, like, women have it hard enough. Why would you ever want to be this? You know what I mean? Like, you're disgusting. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. And I hadn't like been in education or in any of my fields at the time. So like I had this really horrible opinion at like 22 that like trans people should just like not be allowed to do it for medical reasons. And then I got into endocrinology and worked in the psychology field. So then I was like, oh, I'm wrong about everything, and my parent or my mom is evil. So it was really interesting. Going from, I'm really uneducated, I don't know anything about the world, to I've now dropped into the field that deals with this the most. And I had to like very quickly be like, oh my God, I'm a bigot. And dealing with that was like crazy because like growing up the morality of like, Jesus and superheroes, you try your best to not have those kinds of opinions. But I didn't even realize, you know what I mean? Because if you have like a parent or somebody or whatever like saying that to you constantly, you like think like, oh yes, you're right, you're God to me, so I believe what you're saying,
I mean, the only thing I'll add to that is like sometimes your surroundings, like you don't realize, like you think like growing up, like I was like, yeah, I'm like the most accepting person, but like then when I like left my hometown, I'm like, wow, like I thought my hometown was like, my hometown's not bad, don't get me wrong, but I thought it was better than it was. Like when I left and I was like, oh, there, it's like super, you're in a vacuum of like, oh, I was kind of like in a, little kind of mostly white suburban small town in New Jersey, which was progressive enough. Like nothing too bad happened, but people still held opinions.
Yeah.
And then like you don't realize that until you like move out and you're like, okay, like, it wasn't the best, but like moving away or stepping away from that is the only way you're going to see that was even happening. You know what I mean? Like when you're still around that culture or that negative person, you're not going to be able to see it from an outside perspective to know like, okay, like then you learn from like not your mistakes, but the mistakes of your upbringing.
Yeah.
It
took me a long time to like realize and go through all the things like that I didn't like that I didn't actually know about, but I would have opinions on. And then later in life, I'm like, I think I'm not going to have opinions anymore on stuff that I don't know anything about.
Yeah.
And then, I went on to meet like a billion trans people after that, and they just kind of flocked to me for some reason. And then, like, that also became a problem. Then I turned you trans. Then I turned our other roommate trans.
It's a joke. You're joking. Though,
yeah. Oh, wait, because there's people who actually do that.
That's why I'm clarifying that it's a joke.
Yeah, it's a joke. But, yeah, like, and then everyone, like, started to be a kind of way. And, like, I remember growing up in the news, there was a story about a baby born as a hermaphrodite, right? And I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, and then my mom, like, explained it to me. It's like, oh, it's like a baby, and they're born with both genitals and whatever. And when they get to a certain age, they get to get a surgery and then pick which genitalia they want to have. And I was like, that's kind of sick. Like, I remember, like, thinking that was really fucking cool. And, like, my mom was chill about that for some reason. Like, she was like, yeah, that makes total sense. Like, but then when a real trans person, like, came along and was like talking about like, oh, I feel like this way on the inside. I was like, no. What the fuck is the difference there?
The difference realistically, if you actually want me to like answer that like from the perspective of like what I would assume somebody who's really religious would think, is that God gave them
you're
both
right.
of those parts, and then medically speaking, it's safer for them to remove one, or maybe one's not functioning properly, so it becomes like a birth defect at that point. Then like, oh, okay, like we need to remove one, but it was God's will that gave it to them.
What if everybody was just born that way?
I don't know. Ask Lady Gaga.
What?
Born
Going
that
this
way?
way.
Oh, that's used to be a huge rumor that she was secretly a guy, right?
I mean, there was a whole interview and she joked about it. Like,
yeah, well, because people used to say it all the time.
Yeah.
I remember my dad was a huge fucking Lady Gaga fan.
Yeah.
And he goes, "What? I don't know why people would be mad if she was a guy." And that's when I knew my dad was like, oh, my dad's on somewhere on the fucking queer spectrum for sure. Don't know where, but like,
Yeah.
he would be like, "Why is it a problem?"
But
if she
queer
is?"
rainbow.
Yeah, he's in there. I don't know if I'll ever find out, but yeah.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to me, like when he said that, I was like, yeah, why does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't fucking matter. And it didn't. But then she was, she's queen no matter what happens. So, okay, so I'll ask you something else. When did it get, like, at what age did it? I think I know the answer to this, but I want to hear what you have to say, I guess. What age did it get unbearable for you to not be your real self?
That's a tough question. 23. I would say not mid-20s, I think early 20s.
Really?
I think so, unless I'm forgetting about something that you're going to remind me about.
No, I thought you would say much later because that's like when you started to get...
No, because it definitely became more unbearable. Like you remember that time, like we've been friends for a really long time. Like, how badly I was questioning my gender, but I just worked in an industry at the time that like would not have been accepting of me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I kind of was like, I did this thing where I was like, I can't transition because of my job. Also, I did this thing where I was like, oh, I'm 23, I'm too old. I'm 24, I'm too old. I'm 25, I'm too old. I just kept saying I was too old. It took for like a catastrophic life event and me like moving across the whole country. It took like so much for me to find. And then turning 30, I was like, okay, it's kind of now or never at this point. Like, so I just like did it. But it took a lot for me to actually, and I don't work in that industry anymore.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that industry?
Well, I used to do for like 10 years, I want to say, I sold heating and air conditioning equipment. So like HVAC supply, not like actually installing any heating and air conditioning, but like...
But you have.
I have a couple times, yeah. I've helped install some units, but yeah, mainly the selling of the parts and the internals that go into... Like the contractor that comes to your house would first come see me to buy all the materials.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that industry is like incredibly like...
You're going to say one thing and I'm going to say another. Go ahead.
Republican?
Gay. They're all closeted.
No, okay. Well, it's incredibly... Well,
prove me wrong.
It's incredibly Republican, and they're very like opinionated, and because it's all mostly Republican, that I worked with mostly Republicans, like they feel like they're surrounded by all people that think the same way as them, so they kind of talk a lot more freely. Like you would be surprised the stuff that I heard when there was like nobody else around and they thought it was just their HVAC guys. Like the stuff I heard was wild. I was like, whoa. Like I started writing it down at one point.
Oh my God, do you still have that?
Probably on my notepad.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
Started writing it down and I was like, wow, like, okay. So then I was like, definitely like I cannot transition. Like there's no shot. Yeah, I mean, at one point the company I was working for had an accountant that got hired who was a Democrat, and she got like bullied basically out of her job, and she doesn't even work there anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole industry is. I mean,
Shouts out, Jennifer.
I understand the idea that like they're incredibly closeted individuals. Like I love that theory. Like they're
No, but they are though. Prove me
Yeah.
wrong. Like we know.
There's a couple guys
Yeah,
that
we know.
There's a couple guys like it's funny because when you're like doing that like dude banter, especially with like super conservative Republican guys, you can like say some really crazy stuff that you're like I made a joke to the one guy about sleeping with him in the bed of his truck, and it was fine. And it was like, why could I say that to him? Like, you know? Yeah, because we joked. The joke was that, I forget how it happened, but he came in. He was like one of my regular customers. And the joke was like, oh, me and him have to find a bed. And I was like, well, we got the bed of your truck. Yeah. And you could say that to a Republican guy, and it was perfectly fine.
One of my best friends in Philly started working at HVAC first and then got ousted the job. And the stuff that I've heard him say to like the other people in that
Yeah.
field is like straight up like almost like rapey.
You could say gay
levels.
stuff, like, yeah.
It's like it'll be like literally I watched him greet somebody like this once. He's like, "Hey man, we still on for fucking you in the ass?" And it's like,
Well,
whoa.
That's different. Like,
No, but that's just
yeah.
like what you know this. He would just like go up
Yeah.
to people and say that. And they'd be like, huh, and they'd like fucking high five over it.
Yeah.
It's like what is that?
I don't know. It's like a raw dude energy.
I recently read about, not about necessarily this, but about, and especially it feels like, not just in blue collar work, I think it happens any like more male oriented work where it is concentrated like that. I don't know if it's the testosterone or something like that, but like something happens in there in those kind of environments where people just say stuff and just it is the most like
yeah.
horrible shit, and it's just like, and it is not just culturally like American thing. It is, I think it happens all around the world,
yeah.
at least in like Western countries. But it's just like it's terrible. But it's like, and then it can lead to like sexual harassment or harassment out of the job, especially for like women in the more male oriented works. But like that's
because especially at like the HVAC community, and especially the job I had, it's like it's absolutely, most of the stuff that gets said is absolutely like harassment, sexual harassment, like bullying, like, but like it's supposed to be like when you're in a male dominated industry, especially Republican male, it's like you're supposed to be able to take it and then also dish it out. It's not like like you're like a pansy if you like get upset about something somebody said. It's like, well, you're just like, then you're gay, yeah.
Yeah. Which is totally fine.
Yeah. I could dish it back out though. I was having fun with it because I would test the limits on what I can say.
Yeah.
It turns out it's a lot. Yeah.
You want to give an example?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, it's just interesting the stuff that would get said. But I definitely got like my fair share of like I had remember I had I had a ponytail because I was growing my hair out, but I didn't wear my ponytail at work. So at work when I was pre-transition, so I was still passing as a man. I would wear it as a man bun, and the driver I used to work with used to actually get pairs of scissors and grab it, and then say he was gonna cut my hair off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah, pretty cool.
When Stranger Things came out, a lot of people just thought you were copying the dude's haircuts from there, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah.
That's like that got you out of some situations that show existed.
I guess. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because everyone's like, "Oh, you got the Stranger Kids,
Yeah.
haircut," and it's like, "Oh, But also, I'm sorry someone said that to you.
I guess I don't take offense to it. Season 1 and 2 of Stranger Things, I thoroughly enjoyed. So.
Well, yeah, but did you want to look like the kids from it? I don't know, I feel like...
No, I'm saying, I'm not. I'm more talking about like the older kids. Like they were cool. You know what I mean?
Oh, so you're going to talk about how you have a crush on Steve?
This is 10 years ago, isn't it?
Yeah.
When we watched season 1, I remember that was like cool. But I
Yeah.
mean, Steve at that time was like,
Uh-huh.
we were like young 20s. He was probably like,
Yeah, but
he's probably same age. Look up the actor. He's
when
probably
did
same
you have
age.
a crush on him, though?
On Steve?
Yeah.
After season 1.
Okay.
So whatever age that was,
Okay.
but it's probably the same
You
age
have
as
a
us.
type, you really do. Because you have
People
Andrew...
named Steve. That's my dad's name.
No. Andrew Garfield.
I'm kidding.
Andrew Garfield and him were
Joe
two
Carey.
people. What?
Joe Carey isn't that
Yeah,
the actor?
Joe Carey.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Andrew Garfield are two people that you had a crush on. They both have the same vibes.
Andrew Garfield and Steve from Stranger Things definitely both
Yeah.
have the same vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you did a double whammy on me, as a Star Wars fan, and I did. This is before I understood what was going on with you, which I feel.
I still don't understand what's going on with me.
And you just were like, I really like Poe from Star Wars. And I was like, wow, okay.
Poe Dameron.
Yeah. And so I bought you a bunch of Poe stuff, and I'm like, he's so cool. You're right. So hot. And you would never agree with me.
Well, I did think he was cool. It's just they did kind of ruin his character a little bit.
All right, we're not gonna start talking about Star Wars.
They
right
did,
now.
though.
We're not gonna. No, I agree. He didn't.
He had the cool
He didn't
X-wing,
fuck
too.
Finn, and that just ruined.
He
the whole
should have
thing.
had a gay relationship
Yeah,
with Finn.
like that
yeah.
hug. Like
They-
still undisputed that hug's really gay.
Yeah, and he's
Like,
like,
it's
and
like-
he said, and he had his jacket. He goes, "Your jacket." He goes, "Keep it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why did
No,
you do
it
that?
was so gay. They had a gay bromance in the first movie that should have blossomed into like a full on romance.
Ryan Johnson, why?
Yeah.
Like, literally.
Thank you, Disney.
It was not fucking Disney, just that motherfucker. He just was like, I'm gonna make this not Star Wars. And I understand that people love The Last Jedi. I respect you. I don't want to fight with you. I don't want to delete my Facebook and then cry about it. But you know, I do not like that movie very much for its character development issues.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use this as a lead into a question I just got in my mind. So it's Trans Visibility Day. Is there like specific like media that has like a trans character, or like you can even call like a trans media that's like made by a trans person or made for trans people? I don't know, like that you would like or like would recommend or something, because like I'm like I recently it's becoming this sounds gonna be so weird, but like more trans characters are presented in media. I think it's a good thing, because like not a like in a popular culture it hasn't been the thing, and I don't want to sound like what's the deal with that. No, I really enjoy
Less
that,
trans
but-
people in media.
yeah, exactly. To have like media like
All
that. But I
these
was like,
trans
yeah,
people.
like look, I'm an ally. I like this trans
What's
character.
next?
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
next?
it's
Trans Spider-Man? Like.
But what is there like? What would you recommend on like media that's like speaks to you either personally, or would like, oh, that was a good representation in media
Interesting.
that you've seen before? Is there such a thing?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot. There's a decent amount of trans media. That's a good idea though for like Trans Visibility Day. I feel like next year I'll make everybody watch whatever I want. So that's a good idea that you
All
just
right, yeah.
had. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm trying to think though, like, because unfortunately, like when I think about trans characters, it's like I don't think there's like a whole series or movie. I would think like it's like select episodes of things. Like I think I don't
have so many things I could say.
I know, but like I think like I know it probably doesn't technically count, but like I think Garnet from Steven Universe.
Oh well, yeah, that does count.
Okay.
That
I've
whole
heard
show
about
counts as a really good.
Yeah, like I think Steven Universe, like I would probably be like, oh, let's binge Steven Universe.
Yeah, yeah.
Or like make everybody watch me play Celeste.
Yeah.
I've
But
only
that's like not so obvious though. That's not.
It's obvious when you're trans.
Yeah.
I was right at that point in my life where I was like, I was not interested in
Yeah.
the modern cartoons. Like I had a friend who was really into My Little Pony, and I was Friendship is Magic, and I couldn't give a shit.
That's a
And it's
different.
like, yeah, that's a different.
that's
Okay,
different.
but I know people. No, it's actually good, and I'm like, I'm not interested. I'm sorry. I tried. I wasn't interested. And then people are like, oh, Adventure Time is great. No, I tried. I also didn't interested. And then Steven Universe. By that point, I was like, I don't even know what this is. Like, I don't know. I'm sure it's good. Like people always talk about good things, so I'm interested now. Let's check it out. But it was always like that point when it came out. I was like, I don't remember what I was like doing. That's some dumb shit probably. But yeah. Okay, that's interesting to know.
And like I probably would maybe say like Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse purely because of Spider-Gwen.
But also not canonical. So just to point it out.
I'm not saying she's trans. I'm saying like she's a very big representation for
Oh yeah.
for trans people. Well, most trans people identify with her and also love her as a character. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
she also has trans representation in her room.
Yes.
So like she still is trans
Yeah.
representation. She's trans colors.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't off the top of my head, I don't know if I can necessarily think of any other specifics. I'm sure there's like a ton I'm not thinking about.
All right, but those are on top of my mind.
Euphoria.
I thought Euphoria, but I wouldn't name that one for his question. Like I love
That's like the best one.
I
to
loved
name.
Euphoria, the what we had watched of it. I never finished it, but like I wouldn't say like, oh, Transmissibility Day.
you
Like
should finish it.
I wouldn't say like we got to watch that one because it's
That show does everything right. It does everything right for mental illness and how it should be portrayed. It does everything right for the issues that women deal with, and also trans people, queer people, just sex workers. Like it's got everything. It's got everything you could want for minority groups and lesser represented lesser represented groups. So I feel like in that they don't make a big deal about the trans stuff at all, but that's what makes it so good. Is that in Euphoria they're just queer characters.
Right.
She's just a trans girl and that's it. Like, and you follow the journey, you understand that that's going on, and the character is not like, it's not in your face. They're just being treated like another character. That's why I think that stands above and beyond for trans media for me, because so many other pieces of trans media, when they were finding their footing, like, when we started having media about it, really turned like audiences off who could have like learned something by being so in your face about it. And I don't mind that because there's a space for that. Like, of course, like, you know what I mean? When I watch like autistic media, right? Like I know that there's some media that's like done really poorly, or media that's too in your face about it, or does it subtly or whatever. And there's a little bit of something for everybody there. But for trans stuff, like, it's almost like I feel it is up to the person creating it, if it is going to go to mainstream audiences, to teach something with it, or to teach how you should be treating trans people. And in Euphoria specifically, they don't really make a big deal out of it. And I think that's the right way to do it in something mainstream.
I guess because I just thought about it while you were talking. I guess like I would pick select episodes of One Piece
Absolutely.
that have
Yes,
trans
absolutely.
representation. Like I would have like if I was to do this next year and like plan like what like characters, I would probably find like very specific episodes like with Okiku.
Yeah, Okiku is
Yeah.
probably the best trans character in the show.
Yeah.
I think like Ivankov definitely counts, but like,
I was gonna say not even just Ivankov, like Ivankov's second person, whoever that is, their name.
Inazuma.
Yeah,
right?
I would say
Yeah.
Inazuma.
Inazuma is gender
Fluid.
and I would say Ivankov is also gender fluid.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both.
I would say Ivankov. I mean, I'm not supposed to say the word anymore, but like obviously they're modeled off of Rocky Horror.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if you would just say Ivankov is modeled off of transvestite, but like that's what.
Well, yeah.
she's-
Yeah, I don't know if that's okay to say, like, because I know people who
I have no
identify
clue, yeah.
as transvestite. I don't know if that's like, I don't really know. I know I'm not allowed to say that at work. You know what I mean? I'm not allowed to say that in therapy sessions or anything like that. It's not. I don't think it's technically a slur, but it's not something you're supposed to say.
I'm actually not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. But No, I think One Piece has some of the greatest queer representation in any piece of media ever because they also just treat them like, here's another character.
Yeah.
They're just this thing. Like, I know Bon Clay in the live action is going to be non-binary completely because the actor is also non-binary. So they're going to go by they, them. Like,
Yeah.
I know that in the show, Kobe goes by he, him, but Kobe in real life is also non-binary and goes by they, them. And, like, I think like the cast has even openly talked about how it was difficult at first, but they like were fine, dealing with the pronoun stuff after a while. And like I heard some stories like that, like the cast members would like stand up for the other people who wouldn't use the right pronouns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I do think that that's cute and that's very nice to hear.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I mean, any that we forgot, like
Oh, there's a lot. Like, there's a whole lot of trans
Yeah.
media. It's just like there's varying degrees on how it does it, and I'm not a big fan of certain media that does it certain ways, like especially early on, and especially ones that are written by like dudes.
Yeah.
So I'm not even gonna mention them. Really.
Yeah, if there's any we forgot, put them down in the comments.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah.
We're not gonna, no one is gonna comment.
Put
on
them in
this
the
episode.
comments.
I know there are a lot of comic books. Speaking of.
Oh yeah.
That have trans people in them, and I cannot, off the top of my head, fucking remember any names of comic books right now that have them in there. But I know that they are in there, and you know what? I know somebody who will leave a fucking comment about that.
Yeah, leave a comment.
You can leave your singular comment. You know who you are.
Or leave multiple comments.
Yeah, just comment on the video at all. Why do we
There-
need comments? I don't know. But anyway, yeah, no, there's plenty of trans representation, a lot of
Yeah.
shit. You just don't watch anything, really. I'm gonna gag you with that one because.
You're gonna gag me.
Yeah, because you don't watch shit. You don't watch the stuff you should watch. I tell you to watch stuff all the time. I tell you to fucking play shit, and you don't fucking do it.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get you to finish One Piece. You know what's really cool is that I bought fucking 2 action figures, right?
That's great.
Two
That's
a-
so cool.
No, listen.
Oh, so
I
good.
bought her 2 action figures last year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she's almost at this Egghead. She's almost at Egghead. She's going to love these 2 characters. And I had to hide them in my fucking closet for a year.
I was
And
hiding
she
in the closet for more than a year.
She only just got to the episodes like yesterday, or was it 2 days
You know
ago?
what's cool though? It's also if they don't have movable arms or legs, are they action figures?
Just figures.
Just figures.
All right, fine.
I think action figures need
Fine.
action. Yeah.
Fine.
And for every action, reaction.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Fine. But anyway, I still had them for you, and I'm just upset about it.
That's a good joke though because I'm making a for every action reaction, and we're in Egghead right now, which is like Newton's laws of physics.
Yeah.
It's a little over your head. I'm sorry.
I am so stupid.
No, I'm kidding. Anyway, does that answer your question?
I think so. It wasn't my question.
It was his
It's just-
Yeah,
question.
I was trying to think like there are 2 pieces of media, trans media that I've like seen. Well, one is clearly a trans piece of media, but I don't want to
JJK,
discuss it
by
here.
the way.
And the first one is not, but has a trans character, which was I found it really fascinating how it was dealt with. It was a shonen manga. I don't want to say its name because it's kind of spoils, but there's a brilliant character in it, which is like, how do I say this? In this series, there is a character who's a woman, or like it's like it's called as a woman, and like the entire show, like she's doing all this wild shit, and it's just like whoa, like, and she's like she's not the main character, but she's in there and doing a bunch of stuff, and then she like at one point of the story, a character goes like, oh, I can see like my ability is to see like human souls.
Yeah.
And it's like that's a guy, and the character just goes apeshit, just like basically just like the main like hero's party and everything just like fuck you, just like basically disappears and just gets upset about it because like somebody says that, and then the main character goes like, why are you upset? Because like that's something there's a story reason of like the character, if I remember this correctly, I'm apologize if I remember this correctly, because people will know if I mention, because of the situation. Yeah, because of the situation this character is in, they are a woman. They're born a woman and they identify as woman, but because the situation they are perceived as a like they are a man, but like they are born as a woman, and like due to a situation they cannot. I don't want to missay it, but because of the situation they are in, they have this condition that makes them like, oh, they cannot change, so this is what they've identified with this, and then this other character reminding them of like their origin is like, that's wrong because that's not who they identify as, and then they cannot do anything about it, so they get
Did
like
the character
really
identify as a guy or a girl?
so this is the hard part. Like I think there's like they identify as a woman. I think the whole thing, but the one guy says on the soul that's a man, and that upsets that character very much because like
Okay,
they're born
misgendered.
Yeah, misgendered.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So
And you can't tell us the name of this.
Yeah, because it ruined. Well, I can
How
say,
would
but
the
it's just
name
like,
of the thing ruin the?
no, but it's like if you go and then you're just like, oh, now wow, we know this character.
But it's just a side character.
Yeah.
Is
Okay. Yeah.
Is
But
this like I married a slime and now I'm gay or
no,
something?
no.
What
Okay,
is
I'll
this?
say this. This is because if it makes you interested, this is Fire Punch by
Oh,
Tatsuki
okay, I know why
Fujimoto,
he didn't want
and
it.
and it is when it happened, I was like, whoa! And then it's like there's a chapter that basically goes this character like basically like literally just like breaking down or just crying like you are not allowed to like call me whatever. I am this and I cannot do anything about it. I am this and this is who I am, like despite what you might say on this, and you will never understand how I feel like on the inside. And it's just like basically, and the main character just goes like, all right, okay, like basically it's like okay, I don't understand, okay, I will accept this, but and the story moves on from there. But it was a very much of like, whoa, I have not seen this kind of like presentation in like a shonen manga like before, so it's just like very very interesting to me. Like I don't know if that's like a great representation, but that was like a big a big representation of like a popular like series.
I
Like,
don't know a single thing about Fire Punch, but if it plays out the exact way that you're saying it does, it would be great representation
Yeah,
for a
it would
trans
be.
person.
If I misremember it, then I apologize.
Then
and
you
just
should
like,
rewrite
just
it
said,
because
I
that's
read
pretty
this.
good.
I've read this series twice, and it'd just be
Yeah.
like, like, oh, I thought like, whoa, that was pretty
Yeah,
good.
if that's
I
playing out
remember-
the way that
yeah.
you said,
Yeah.
that would be amazing representation for
Yeah.
a trans person. Because it's the same people that saying what that character said to that other character is like saying, oh, but when you die, your skeleton's going to be, you know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
It's like, that's the classic argument
Right,
is like,
right.
so they're saying your soul is the other gender, like but they're saying like, yeah, my soul is, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Something like that to a level. I have to reread it, but
Yeah.
like I remember being like, well, it's like, oh, this is
They'll
like
let
very,
you know
very
how
deepful.
wrong
yeah,
you are
yeah,
in the
yeah, oh
comments.
yeah, and then, but I remember I had to look it up. Is this like okay? It's like I think there was like a comment from trans person. Yeah, it's good. Not the best. Like it could be done a bit more like you know, not subtly, but like a bit more like not as heavy-handedly. But it was still like, well, it's like character literally goes and says all this.
I
stuff,
did
and it's like-
forget too. JJK has Carrera, which
Yeah.
is like
Oh,
one of
yeah.
my favorite. I want to like I want to like
Also,
cosplay
just
her.
a character.
Yeah,
Just
she's
a
so
character
cool.
that just so
yeah.
happens to be trans. They acknowledge that like that happens. They acknowledge
Yeah.
like, wasn't that a guy last time we saw them? You know.
No, they don't say it that obviously. They just say like I forget how they do it. They don't say it like that. They just like start using they them pronouns. I think. Because I think the characters don't
almost
know how to.
positive that that's a line that they say.
I'm pretty sure the characters before meeting her again used he pronouns, and then when seeing her used they them because I think they don't know what to say, so I think
Yeah.
they're just pivoting to they them. Like I think that's what's happening, but I don't 100% know.
There's more and more in anime all the time, and I'm really like kind of loving that because
Yeah.
it's really nice to see. It's also nice to see like actual trans voice actresses are actually playing these
Yeah.
characters on top of that. Like,
Yeah.
because Okiku is the voice is a trans girl, and
Yeah.
then what's her name from JJK is also that
Carrera?
same. Yeah, Carrera is the same voice actor.
Okay.
But then on top of that, she also voices Sword Boy. What's his name?
Yuta.
Yeah, Uda. So Yuta.
Yuta.
Yeah,
Yuta,
yeah.
yeah.
So like a lot of range there. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that's pretty cool.
Like so, I'm really happy that she's like doing shit.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good discussion.
What does it feel like now?
Like just being trans? That's a
Yeah.
broad question. I feel like.
Do you feel better?
You know, I hate answering that. Yeah, I feel better. Like I think about how I used to be, and I was like, if I could never go back to that. Like
Can you explain to the audience how you used to be?
a man.
No, just
And
like those
ugly.
feelings.
No.
And how you would treat people and all that kind of stuff.
I don't know. I used to just like hate myself. Like I mean, like I used to just be like internally just like. I think it was like that thing where you're just like, it's like you're trapped, but you don't realize you are. So like internally, it's like I never wanted people to take pictures of me. I never wanted like, you know, I never really cared about like how I looked or like, you know, looking nice to go out, or like my appearance, or even like keeping up with my face and my facial hair, showering. Like it was like weird that it was like, because I don't know, it's like almost a double-edged sword. Like because I hate how I look so much, I invest nothing in looking better, because I know like no matter what I do, I can't like look how I want to look.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's like a weird backwards effect that happens, where it's like you think if you had this dysphoria, you would try everything possible to like look better, but it was almost like no matter how much I tried, I couldn't look the way I wanted to look. So then I just gave up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I just like, it was just, and then I did this thing where it's like, then I'm like, where you're like, it's like that thing trans people do. I other people probably do it, but it's like say like a trans woman, it's like when you see another woman, you go like, do I like her or do I want to be her? Like, yes. Because you're like self-reflecting. So I did that for years until I realized, I'm not like, not that I'm not, I think like women are attractive, don't get me wrong, but like I was like, oh, wait a minute, I don't want to sleep with that person, like I want to be that person. Yeah. And that was like a weird thing that I had to realize. It took me a long time to realize that, but yeah. I would say now, though, it's like, it's an interesting feeling, because now, like, when I moved out here to the West Coast, started transitioning, which I actually started before I moved out here a couple months, and then we moved out here.
Yeah. What was like, it was a year. Oh, no, you're right.
Like
oh, my
4
God.
months, yeah.
Because you started June.
I started June,
before the fire.
like end of June, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So July, August, September, October, and then I was here.
Because I took the Lupron.
So
we did a cute thing where, because I knew I was going to have to get like my ovaries turned off and all that stuff, I did Lupron, which is a shot that turns your ovaries off, and like you get to pick, when you take it, and basically you go through menopause for about 3 months very, very fast. And I decided to do, I think it was, I did it in April. So by the time I was like done going through my first medical menopause, it would be April, May, June, and we made a pact, right? Yeah. That when I was done going through my medical menopause, she would start HRT in Pride Month, and then we both would be like these, genderless freaks for a little bit.
Right. Yeah. That's what.
Yeah,
I love that term. Yeah. Genderless freak.
Well, like we were like me and you had like we were switching roles, basically.
I would say, dare I say, in transition.
Yeah, we were both in but that month particularly, I had gone from having like normal levels of like female, woman estrogen to nothing, and then you started injecting it into your body. So it was like whoosh.
We did like the swap situation. Yeah,
it was definitely it was fucking wild.
Yeah, and, it was interesting. Yeah,
at the time, like Trevor was living with us, and like he helped us through the entire process, and it was kind of like, it was insane. Like being around two women going through that, I don't even. Yeah. I couldn't imagine.
To continue what I was saying, because I think I was in mid. I forget what I was even saying at this point. It was like a sentence about how it felt now being out here on the West Coast. Something about taking the meds. I don't remember.
When you started in June, Pride Month, you had made an agreement.
No, it was before that.
When you moved here.
Yeah, I was just more saying. Oh yeah, I was saying how, like now, because back then I didn't want people taking pictures or anything like that, and then when I moved out here, it was like weird that like when I started transitioning, I started like taking more pictures of myself and like actually being okay with like being in pictures or like, dressing up more. It's like, it's weird. Like I just naturally started taking more pictures of myself, and like, I don't know, I just got comfortable like somewhat with how I look, to where I'm not too upset about it anymore.
I remember it was like around my birthday party, my first birthday party here, you dressed up as Nami, and that was when like I feel like you were really feeling yourself, because you definitely were like doing the scraggly thing for a while where you just dressed like a hobo when you first moved here, and then like you slowly just started being like a little more femme as time went on. I think by like late October you were like in a vibe.
I think you're heavily glossing over the fact that at a fire that destroyed my entire wardrobe.
But I try not to bring it up every episode, all right? I try not to bring it up every single episode.
I was dressing like a hobo because
we had no clothes.
I was a hobo. I moved here with no home and no clothes. And I only had the clothes that were left over from like what was scattered around, not in the apartment. So like I
Because
basically
you lived in your car.
yeah, so I had a lot of clothes in my car, luckily.
Luckily.
And I had some clothes in the storage unit, but it was all
Yeah.
like old clothes I never wore anymore. So like I kind of was wearing like an amalgamation of like dirty, tattered, old clothes. Yeah.
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 Jeff's playing War Thunder.
Somebody
again.
out there making some weird noises.
No, but I do kind of want to talk about this if you're okay with it. What it looked like from my point of view,
I guess.
Because
I don't see why I wouldn't be okay with it.
because it's kind of fucked up. I mean, like,
That's whatever you say is up to you. I can't promise
Yeah,
you
it's
how
on
I'm
the
gonna
record.
feel.
so we dated, right, for like on and off for like a couple of years, and it was what we meet when I was like you were like 21.
You were like 23.
Yeah. So I was like 23, you were like 21. And it was weird. It was like one of those things where it's like really crazy like honeymoon phase shit the first 3 months, and then it was like after that. And you started staying over my place more and more. You started to get like really depressed, and you started to get like a lot, you know what I mean?
Keep in mind with this story, there's a lot of factors that go into this.
Oh yeah. There's
that
a
we're
lot.
not
There's a
gonna
lot
get
going
into,
on that we
yeah.
don't need to get into. But like as time went on, like you lived with me longer and longer. You started like not talking to your friends. You started like just isolating. And then I would say things like, because I had, when I was like 23, 24, I had finally gotten the call like, hey, you can't have kids. Because I had started to go through like really bad like PCOS and endometriosis and all that kind of stuff, like treatments and like things like were happening to my body that fucking sucked dick. So I had gotten that call, and I remember crying to you like that they were going to try, you know what I mean? And I remember saying to you like, I know that you wanted to have a kid, but I don't think like that's going to happen, and I'm afraid like that you're going to see me less, right? And I remember saying to you that and having that conversation after I got the call, and you like got way more emotional. And I thought it was because of the call, like because of the news that I had gotten. But like as time went on and I was grieving about it and I was crying about it and stuff like that, like, and I was talking to you about how I felt less of a woman, you kept getting so mad at me every time I told you, you don't understand, you're not a woman. And that was when I fucking like started to think that something was going on.
I think it's like finite sentences like that. Like I could be there to support you as best as possible, but I think like saying like you don't understand, you're not a woman, that's like very blunt. Like it's like that, saying those kind of things are always going to be like triggering, you know what I mean? So like
yeah, but it was anytime I mentioned like being a woman, you would get really, really upset. And when I started having those health issues was when like you and I had such a like this wall between us, like and it was so scary to like I didn't know how to navigate it, and we had basically broken up at that point, and it was like, why, what happened? And I couldn't figure it out for like the longest time. And we still lived together and we were still best friends, but like there was just something wrong. And like
there's something wrong with me.
No, like you were depressed, and
okay.
every time, and I thought it was because you did see me as lesser for like a long time, because I couldn't have kids, and I knew that you wanted a daughter and all that kind of stuff. So like I started to just like really start to hate myself for a little bit, like thinking like I fucked everything up, like this sucks. And so I started to think about it more and more, because then it was like, wait, it wasn't just the kid thing. It was so many other things. Like you came, the very first time you ever came over my house, you came over to help me roll my sleeves up correctly because I wasn't dressing like a girl, right?
You didn't. No. Okay. Like to say the sentence you weren't dressing like a girl, right? Is
No. I'm
horrible.
saying that about myself because I admit that I didn't.
Because you had said to me you didn't know how to roll a collared shirt, like a sleeved shirt, like you had like a button down shirt.
Yeah.
You didn't know how to roll the sleeves up properly.
Yeah, and then you came over and taught me.
And rolled the sleeves.
But you helped me with so much fashion back then. Like I didn't know what I was doing. Like at that time, I was only just figuring out how to be myself.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be more feminine. Like my mom.
And I bought your house coasters for the first time.
Yeah, I know that.
I came over. You guys didn't even. You came over. You guys didn't even have coasters. I was like,
we didn't.
Just putting things down on tables.
Yeah,
just raw.
I mean, I didn't know. You know what I mean? Like,
crazy.
And she bought me these like cassette, like,
floppy discs.
Floppy disk coasters
made
for
out
the
of
first
wood.
time. And so, like, I remember, like, I had expressed to you that because of all that stuff that was going on with my body, like, I felt less feminine. And because of my mom growing up had forced me to dress like a guy so I wouldn't get assaulted or become pregnant, you know, because who people just do that when they're like 10, they become pregnant. But like she was forcing me constantly to dress like a man. And so until I was, you know, 18, 19, I wasn't allowed to dress how I wanted. And then I met you, and like you were very into fashion for some reason. And I thought that's just because you were like a very stylish, like, you know, I thought you were a queer dude, to be honest. I just thought you were like a bisexual like entity, you know, where you existed in these planes of, you know, being a fashionista. You would talk about how you would watch Dr. Doe, and that's how you knew so much about women anatomy.
I love
And
Dr.
you were
Doe.
so good at certain sexual things. And
Not
I was
that
like,
I knew about women's anatomy that way, but like, or like just all. Dr. Doe, she's a YouTuber that has a YouTube channel called Sexplanations, and it's very informative. I watched her a lot. Like, I don't know how long ago it was at this point, but like very amazing videos. Like she would explain things so well.
yeah.
So I kind of hid behind like any, you know what I mean, any of my gender stuff. Like, you know, when it came to like, you know, the transgender, like I kind of was just like, oh, well, I know about this because of like this or that, or I learned it here.
I remember asking you, be like, why do you know more about my vagina than I do?
Yeah, I know
And-
more about women's anatomy.
Yeah, like I was like, what the fuck? Like, well,
Yeah.
not only did I not get educated as a kid, but like, or ever, but like, it just was like, it was really weird learning it from you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and then I learned so much more about how to be feminine, and I learned like how to dress better, and I learned how to like, you know, take care of myself, and like, you know, actually like feel better about like who I was at the time. I started really liking pink. That's why I have all this pink shit now.
You know that's not a topic for today, but do you know that's actually a cultural, like that's actually a phenomenon that happens with women that date somebody, like at the time it was us dating, it was women that date somebody that supports them. They all of a sudden, when they were never pink girlies before, become pink girlies.
Yeah.
It's a whole phenomenon. It's like a whole thing because they're allowed to then express their femininity.
I never was,
in an environment that's not going to be toxic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, I was fucked up. Like, I feel like I have a lot of gender identity issues because of how I was brought up, and because of how I had to present as a guy for like most of my life. It just like messed me up. So when you gave me that opportunity to be more feminine, like at the time I had no clue it was because you were literally living through me in a way where because you know, you started going out and helping me buy dresses, and like I remember we would spend hours. No boyfriend would do this, right? Like, and I should have fucking figured this out. Hours in the dressing room with me being like, "Oh my god, that's cute. Oh my god, that's not," you know? And then I'm just like, "Wow, what a good boyfriend."
Yeah. I did this thing.
What a good boyfriend you are.
I wouldn't even say like you say I'm fashionable, but like I did this thing when I was like a teenager where like I bought like 10 of the same black V-neck.
You loved American Eagle.
Yeah.
You lived and died by wearing the tightest jeans possible.
Yeah.
And the tightest clothes
I
possible.
wore Calvin Klein jeans. Though.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, you're the Calvin Klein jeans and the American Eagle shirts that were so tight. It was like insanity.
'Cause I used to say I was a medium.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm a fucking whatever. I'm between a medium and a large is. And it scares me.
But yeah, I wore tight shirts, tight pants. Like I hate when things are baggy. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, like it's definitely something really like thinking back on should have been like you know, I should have realized sooner. And the farther I got into doing my like psychology work and getting schooled for it, like the more I was like, hold on a second.
But that also like wasn't a thing. Like even when we first started dating.
Yeah, it really wasn't. Like it wasn't like a super thing, and it also wasn't something that they taught. It wasn't in the DSM fully yet the way that it is now. You know, to the degree that it's taught now either. Like because DSM-5 has you know a gender dysphoria as like part of the mental illness stuff. So like it wasn't necessarily something that was on the top of any criteria that I was learning or anything like that. And like, you know, it was just something that we gave at that time, like antidepressants to those people, and that was really it. Like, if I remember right, like back then, like I don't think a lot of schools had caught up with like, yeah, we give those people HRT. It was no, we give them antidepressants to shut them the fuck up. Like, you know, like it wasn't. There were so many old people in those fields at the time. Like it wasn't something that was really taught, and so it was weird to me. And then I started meeting trans people more, and I would look at you and be like, something's adding up here. And I remember it was one of the you know, we used to do a Mega 64 Game Days event all the time. It was one of the times I went there by myself. And you were home and you went through my clothes. and you were trying them on and shit.
Yeah, I was making sure that none of them were like messed up. Or,
Yeah. And I like didn't really think much of it like at the time, and then I realized that you had hid it from me. Like,
Well, you had like cosplay wigs.
Yeah.
You had tons of different
you
like
had
outfits.
tons of cosplay.
So it was like really easy for me to be like, all right, I could just like put all this on, like,
Yeah.
you know.
and see what the vibe is.
Yeah.
But it was when I'd gone through your phone to find a photo that I needed for something I was doing while I was a streamer, and I was like, oh, there's all these photos of you when I had been away at conventions of you trying my clothes on, and I was like, what the fuck? Why would you not tell me? Like, this seems cute and fun. So I was like, I get it now, and that was like 2019.
Yeah, but now when I take your clothes, you're like, well, that's my shirt.
Oh, yeah, because sometimes I want my clothes back.
You're like, you said it to me today. That's my shirt. I was like, these are also your socks.
Yeah, well,
Just take
I'm
all your
sorry.
clothes. Yeah.
Times
Well,
change.
it's nice that we can, like, you know,
Yeah.
share clothes.
Yeah.
But now I am smaller than you, though, so.
Dang.
You
What
know.
happened? I'm gaining weight.
Yeah,
so-
you're gaining weight. I'm losing weight, so
Yeah.
it's different now. But we get to swap clothes. Like, I literally all day yesterday just like went through my old clothes and gave her all of my old shit. Like, this is one of my dresses. You've probably
Yeah.
seen me in it at some point if you've hung out with me in real life.
Yeah.
But like, I do think that that's really beautiful, though. Like, to think about all of those things that happened. Like, it was really hard being friends with you while you were going through all that. Like,
it's hard being me.
like, yeah, like, it was super hard, and I imagine that it was very hard to be friends with me when I was going through PMDD and everything like that, like all the hormone stuff as well. Like, but it is such an interesting thing, like, that we are where we are now, where it's like, I'm literally not biologically a woman anymore, and you are now biologically more of a woman than I am.
Yeah.
Like, your estrogen is genuinely higher than mine, and
Yeah.
I have more testosterone.
I mean,
than
like,
you.
it's whatever you're identifying as. Like, I would
Yeah.
never say, like, I'm more of a woman than you. Like,
Well, you
that's,
know
like,
what I mean. Like, on paper, like when you
Yeah.
read the estrogen and testosterone
on paper,
levels.
I'm
Yeah.
not a woman.
All right, fine. What
Yeah.
you know what? Why can't you ever just take things as I mean them and not as I don't mean them?
Yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
Does it answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
good,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, but I think like that offers such a unique thing, and like I hope people maybe learn like what those red flags are, like, because I would have never thought in a million years, you know what I mean, that would be the outcome of where we're at right now. Like, you know what I mean, like, and it also says a lot about like, you know, the queer spectrum in general, because like I was so attracted to you for very specific reasons of like you were more feminine, right?
Yeah.
And that was like, because like manly dudes sometimes like, you know, were a big turnoff to me when I was that young, and you know I was a little freaked out by but you were like a comforting thing.
Yeah.
And it's because you were just a woman the whole time.
Yeah.
And then, you know, now you're here, and it's I don't know, I'm really proud of you. I really feel like it's crazy that we went on these weird journeys together,
Yeah.
and now we're like living our best lives, kind of, sometimes.
Getting there. We're trying.
Yeah, we're
working
trying.
on it.
We're
so.
working on it. But I mean, I think it's really beautiful. Do you feel like you have any advice for people who were where you were at? They're depressed. They don't want to do it. They don't want to put in the work. They feel like they're never going to look the way they want to look. Like, do you have advice for those people?
That's a question for you?
Yeah, Zomner, do you have
I,
any advice?
I wish I had an answer other than what I say.
Yeah, answer it. Yeah.
You know, times are tough, and you know, you gotta start with somewhere. You gotta start with something. Gotta move onward.
Nice.
Try to see, like, to quote a piece of media. It's never too late.
What media is that?
I don't want to say. Yeah,
Okay,
they know.
yeah,
People know.
Fine. Yeah, time's up. Yeah. I would say, to piggyback off of Zomner, I would say like, yeah, it's never too late in the sense that like at 23, I was saying I'm too old to transition, and I waited from 23 all the way to 30, and it's like,
Just don't wait.
if I didn't wait from 23 to 30, I would have been fully transitioned by 30.
Yeah.
So it's a little upsetting. Like, I can only be mad at myself, but there's a lot of outside factors. But like, yeah, it's at the end of the day, you have to do what's right for you. And sometimes it's like, I was still working in HVAC, still living in Pennsylvania. Like, I just decided I'm going to start transitioning and then roll with the punches. Like, if it gets to a point where, you know, I'll just start looking for a new job. I'll just start, you know what I mean? I figured at some point I'm just going to, accept whatever happens, and just do what's right for me. And that's what you have to do. You just have to do what's right for you. And it might be, okay, you have to get a new job. That's fine. It's scary, but like, it's better for you to have to make these life changes than for you to keep living in a place that you know is unhappy. So yeah.
And if you're friends with someone who is trans, don't watch them suffer the way that I did. I think every single day for 2 years, maybe it's 3 years, because we still lived at my dad's at the time.
Yeah.
Every day for 3 years, I would go to bed and I'd go, "Hey, are you trans?"
Well, yeah,
I
you
literally did that.
You
every
can't
day.
do that. I literally said it's like if you know somebody's trans and they don't know it yet, you can't just directly
But I
ask
still
them.
just would ask.
No, but
I got tired of it.
It's like as a trans person, when I see another trans person's canon event of like they say something that all trans people say the same lines. I know you want to say we don't, but we do. We all say the same lines. So when you hear another trans person say it and they're not at the stage you're at yet, you can't say it. You can't.
Yeah, I learned that.
You have to let them do it themselves. Yeah, like every trans person, like they don't immediately go to trans. They just go, oh, I'm they them. I'm this. I'm gender neutral, and then they make it to trans. Like you have to let that process happen. Or like they'll say like they'll make a comment about like clothes, like why do girls got cool clothes? I'm like, oh, okay, let them have it. I used to say it all the time. I used to say like the clothing section for men. I was like, this sucks. It's all the same color. It's all stupid. The color for women is colorful.
Our old friends group had that quote about you.
We have a quote from my old friends group where I said, I was thinking about like women's clothing, and I said, I bet you they make, and I was trying to still be a man, so I was like, I bet you they make some manly looking girl clothes. Like I was gonna wear girl clothes that was like manly looking, so I can get away with wearing girl clothes. But my friends called me. I thought I can get away with it. My friends called me out for that. Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, no, maybe they're right. Maybe there's something there, but I didn't think about it. Like,
do you know what's so funny is that multiple people from that group went on to be openly trans and are so much
there's
happier
other
now.
comments from the other trans person that wears some signs as well.
Oh yeah, like also if you ever meet anybody who like really just hates trans people for like no reason,
it could be a self-hate thing. Yeah,
they're probably trans.
But a lot of people do the self-hate thing. Yeah, for all, not just trans, like just like anything, most people do that weird self-hate thing where like you almost don't want to accept it yourself, so then you have to like hate it for everybody else. It's weird. Yeah.
It's interesting. I mean, like self-hate in the queer community is so it's just one of the biggest fucking problems.
I feel like we'll have to do like a whole episode on the queer community because that's like
a whole different
that's a big one. Yeah,
but it is such an issue, and I find it really difficult. Like I have a lot of trans patients, and like because I do deal with the endocrinology part of.
I have trans patients, but it's wearing thin.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah. And trans clients, it's like a lot of the times, the education for all these fields is like so little compared to a lot of other things, and I wish I wish I had the knowledge that I have now and more of the medical field back when I was first starting in psychology, because I could have helped way more people with that information. But now it's like I only just learned it in the last like I think 2-3 years. I got into the actual medical part of endocrinology, became kind of an expert over it, and now I understand, like I can have a conversation about trans athletes and fucking know what I'm talking about. Which is I remember this was another you being
it's a tough
hating.
one. It's tough. Yeah.
You hated trans athletes.
I was an athlete. I did cross country distance running, and I did track distance running. So like from an athletic perspective, like being uneducated, it's really tough to understand what it actually means to transition in sports. Like I would say we could talk another episode like about sports and trans people like at length, because it's like
endocrinology.
It is a very interesting topic.
They go together, people. And also fuck J.K. Rowling.
They go together like Grease.
Yeah. I think that bitch should just like go away, please. You're ruining like decades of science and validation that we've given to these people. And now we have to deal with the repercussions of her trying to get everybody banned. When I've spent like the latter half of my career going to universities and places explaining to people that it actually isn't that big of a deal if someone transitions for 2 years, right? At least that they do eventually metaphysically, I think that's the right word, like physiologically do on a muscular level become more
Yeah,
feminine.
yeah,
And like having to teach people that was so hard.
Yeah, I would say give me a full episode to talk about it, because just in the year that I've transitioned, year and a half now that I've transitioned, the amount of muscle mass and strength I've lost, the amount of like actual physical pain
Well,
I'm in.
actually talk about that. Talk about how that's been.
I would want more time. I would want a lot of time to talk about that, because I'm in a lot of physical pain every night, especially when it's coming up to, which we forgot to do my shot today. Yep.
I forgot to change my patch.
We will do that as soon as we're done. And then, the amount of like, muscle loss I've had, the strength I've lost, like it's actually kind of insane. Like losing it within a year's time span is actually like super scary.
Yeah.
Like
it's like an atrophy that happens. I mean, it happened for me when I went through menopause. Like I lost literally all my muscle.
Yeah. But
And
it's interesting.
we'll
talk about it. Like I think we should get into sports and then muscle loss and all that like in depth, because that's like a pretty big conversation.
Yeah, it is a big conversation. It's one that most people aren't really educated on, because like when you go to a trans clinic, and I advise anybody listening to this who's also trans, like those people don't actually know what they're talking about. And I'm sorry that they don't, and I feel horrible that there aren't more people who are educated like myself and a lot of people like at UPenn and Temple and stuff like that. They all are very versed in this, because they have a whole section of doctors and healthcare and mental health clinicians that work specifically with trans people, right? They study specifically, and there's some all over the country, right? But those are the ones I just know. And I've gotten to work with some of the greatest people in those industries, but it sucks because it's a very specific type of doctor, and it's a very specific clinician. It's a very specific person that only knows the answers to this and gender study stuff. And it's like most like OBGYNs, most like endocrinologists don't actually have the data and don't actually have the answers to what your number should be, when you should be transitioning, how long you should be doing things, like when do you start the progesterone, when do you actually up the patches, like what should your levels be, because I just do not have the data.
I started progesterone like 4 months in.
Yeah, and I know people who start it like a month in, and then some I know like people who started a year.
I don't think you should be. I think it should be at least 3 to 4 months before you start progesterone. I don't think it should be immediate progesterone.
No, the people. Yeah. The clients that I've had who have started them all at once have gone like insane.
Yeah.
And because again, there's a big mental health aspect to transitioning that people do not get like trained for. Like you need to sit down with your family and your friends or whoever's in your life and have the conversation with them. Hey, I'm going to start HRT. And this is the same people for going through menopause as well. Like this is why I'm a big advocate for trans women are literally no different than a postmenopausal woman. And I will stand fucking behind that. We're no different. Like, and I think that needs to be talked about a lot more. We're on the same meds. We're on the same bullshit. Like we have to take the same things so that we exist as our real selves. And I think that again, that the shortage that's happening right now with estrogen, like, that doesn't just affect trans people, healthcare people, and all the Trump lovers that want to fucking, make it really hard for us to get our medicine. That affects me, who had cancer and had to go through menopause. Like, and it does affect your moms and the people in your life who are going through perimenopause and regular, and menopause and postmenopause. Like, it's affecting those people too, because they also have to take HRT. They also take the exact same drug that trans people are taking. And by you being a fucking dickhead to all the trans people and making it so that they can't get access to their fucking meds, you've now made it that millions of women all over the fucking country also can't get their meds and be okay and be healthy. Because when you go through menopause and you don't take estrogen, your heart, your bones, your fucking, your whole entire cardiovascular system, your lungs, your everything, your fucking brain, everything neurologically doesn't work right anymore.
My brain hasn't worked right for years.
That's just like a you problem, though.
Okay,
that has nothing to do with being trans. But like it's something that I wish people were more aware of, and it makes me very angry. And I will get on a soapbox about it every single day of my life. Soapbox. Yeah.
Soapbox?
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah. Not a soapbox.
No.
That's like for taking a bath.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what's weird? It's been really hard to find my dad since I told him I was trans, because now he's a trans parent. Because he's
Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
It ain't making me laugh, but I get it.
okay. So I hope that answers your question.
I don't know what the fuck. I go on these really fun, like really intelligent. No, maybe they're not intelligent, probably, but like
Even if they are,
informed rants, and then you derail them by making a joke, and it's really sick. Because then I
Yeah.
forget what the fuck I was saying. I want you to talk about, like, finalize kind of like a thought on like how you feel about like trans visibility. Like, I don't think you gave good advice. You did give good advice, but I don't think you.
I don't. Yeah, you're right.
I don't think you
give
gave
horrible
good enough
advice.
advice. More advice.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm gonna say.
Actually, everything I said,
It's
don't
wrong.
listen to
Yeah,
it.
just don't
Yeah,
actually-
it's
everything I
factually
said is
just
wrong also.
horrible. Yeah.
No, but in seriousness.
What do I know?
I think you should talk about like what people should be expecting right now. Like, how should they be feeling right now, and what our country is going through, and the things that are happening. Like, what is some advice and what is some like words of encouragement that you can give to people who feel like lost and hopeless?
I guess like even with everything we're going through like right now, like it's more just like making sure you are connected with your community. So like there's tons of trans people in OC, which is our area. That even when I first moved out here, I connected with. At least I know. I could see the groups that they're in. I could connect with them if I need help, or like, you know what I mean, like people could reach out. Like you're not like alone.
Yeah.
Like, and where it doesn't matter wherever you are, like LA, up higher, or different parts of the world, even Philly. Like, you just have to find your community to understand that you're not alone in everything. And then like even with the state of the world right now, like I'm not saying like don't be yourself, but like be more cautious, because like it things are being looked at a little bit more scrutinized now. So like I would say like make sure you're taking care of yourself. Like make
Yeah.
sure you're taking precautions. Like right now your safety matters more like than like you saying or doing something that like now you're drawing unwanted attention to yourself. And then like given our political climate and the state of our the US at the current moment, like you're putting a target on your back sometimes. And it's like, I'm not saying don't be yourself, definitely be yourself, but like just make sure you're doing it in a way that's safe. Because I think so many people don't realize how they go out every day. They don't realize how the state of the country, and like sometimes you don't always realize the way people are looking at you. Like, because you know what I mean? And like I've had it, like people look at me a certain way every day, but like I've had tons of times ever since like things started escalating. I've had more times where people have actively said stuff to my face while I'm at work, while I'm out in public, and it's like that's not a coincidence. It's because they feel safer and they feel like they can say these opinions, and like they feel justified by the state of the U.S. right now. So like I don't want to say lose hope. Like give it some time. Like you can be your true self, but like I don't want to say don't be stupid, but like just be more cautious. Like
Yeah,
Be
be
careful.
more aware.
yeah, be around your group. Like you have your group, LGBTQ plus, like, you know, trans groups. Like you have people out there that are of like mind. Like stick together. Like make sure that you're looking after each other. But yeah, just you be cautious, be aware. You know, like don't be blind to it. Like it is happening. So if you know, don't just look at some media and say, oh, it's happening, but not to me, because it could happen to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna piggyback off that, and I think people should be more careful for sure, but I think people should be louder and more annoying about it. To be honest, I think you should take up more space, but I more so want to talk about it from this aspect, because I've seen a lot of fucking talk and chatter about this constantly, and this is something that a lot of people do. Just because you post on social media that you're an ally does not mean that you are an ally. And I want to be loud about this as well. What makes you an ally is hire trans people, invite trans people out, make them part of your community, involve them in your activities, just do literally anything to make them take up the same spaces that you are taking up, and stop acting like just because you fucking reposted an Instagram story or just because you posted a tweet or a blue, whatever the fuck a blue sky thing is, like, or that you said like, oh, happy Trans Visibility Day, that means anything. It doesn't fucking mean anything. Do you know what means something? We live with another trans girl, right? Like, there was a time where she wasn't working. We paid for her meds for her. We paid for laser for her. Like, that's the shit that people need. I don't fucking need your posts. She doesn't need your posts. What people need, what all the trans people need, is your actual fucking help, your actual fucking friendship, and you being a fake ally and just reposting shit and but then behind everybody's back being like, I don't have any trans friends, I wouldn't really know, or like, stuff like that. That's bullshit. And you can act like in practice like that's going to do anything. It doesn't. Your posting does nothing to help anybody. Get out there and meet people. There's a fucking trans meetup that happens every what is it, like every 3 weeks here, and they have constant trans events. There's fucking discords. Get involved with people. I invite a bunch of the whole trans community, OC trans community, to our fucking parties whenever we have them. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of them are very shy, but you go out there, meet people, like, do things, go to these mixers, go to these events, like, get to actually learn what it's like to be friends with somebody who is afraid to be themselves for a little bit. I've been in queer spaces my entire life. It is just something that gay people, bi people, general queer people, just like we've had it hard before, right? But nobody is having it harder than trans people right now. And I think there's something to be said for, we need to make the change. We need to help be that, to guide that to the fucking future, because they can't do it alone. And I really feel like there's no better time right now than to go out there and be like, hey, I'm not going to go get $25 worth of McDonald's today or this week or whatever the fuck people do. I'm going to go help somebody pay. I'm going to go on GoFundMe. I'm going to help somebody pay for their trans meds, because that shit's fucking expensive. How much did you just pay for all your meds?
I didn't even technically get all of them, but I paid like $100 and some odd bucks.
Like, do you realize like that's just like what somebody spends at a bar on a weekend? Take that fucking money and put it towards something good. If you want to say that you're an ally, be one for real. Be one for real. Invite people. You want to go out to drinks? Go pay for a trans person drinks so that they can go have a fucking nice time. Feel safe. Protect them while they're out. Stand up for them while they're out. Like, actually do something. Because I don't know how you feel about this, but like, I'm so fucking tired.
The only thing I'll say is like, well, I'll say two things.
Because the J.K. Rowling thing also has brought a bunch of people into this conversation who don't actually want to do anything about it. They just want to bitch about how J.K. Rowling sucks.
I'll say two things. One, you could do whatever you want to support trans people or, LGBTQ. But I would say, like, I guarantee you, like, most of everybody, like, most of you, like, probably by proxy have somebody in your life that's trans or they, them, or gender neutral. Like, I guarantee you have a niece or a nephew, or you have that cousin. Like, there is somebody through the grapevine, like, somebody you just like, or a friend of a friend. Like, I'm not saying you have to go seek them out. I'm just saying, like, you do probably, if you paid attention, like, have somebody that is being affected by all this stuff. It's just not in your direct day-to-day life. So you think, like, out
of sight, out of mind.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
And the only other thing I'm going to clarify is nobody has it harder than trans people, but people have it currently right now. There are definitely groups of people that have it just as hard as trans people. Yeah. I just want to clarify that one. Trans people are going through their own struggles, but there definitely are a lot of people that are going through some pretty big struggles right now.
The discrimination has been lately, very much lately.
It's peppered. It's peppered in a lot of areas, but I just want to clarify that. Nobody is saying that trans people have it the hardest by any means.
I think I'm just very angry right now because I've been dealing with a lot of people who,
I'm watching people be torn away from their families. So it's like I kind
of course, the new Daredevil episode is literally
we just watched Daredevil, and that's like happens in that episode.
No, I didn't mean to make it sound like that.
No, I just wanted to clarify in case anybody I knew how you meant it, but not what you. I
think it's just because I get very angry about it. Because
which is fair. You have multiple trans people directly in your life.
Like, and it is something like I would never want something to happen to you or any of our friends, or any of our roommates. Like I can't handle that, and I know how you're treated at work, and I know how you're and you work at a fucking Starbucks. You know what I mean?
Like, I'm very thick-skinned, though.
No, you are, but that's because we're from the East Coast. That's a whole different thing.
And Joel, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, truly.
But like it's really hard, and it's hard for me to watch people I love have all this horrible shit happen to them, and it's hard to watch these conversations about media and Harry Potter be more important to people than like the lives of other people. Yeah. And then it's also hard for me to know that everybody watched that stupid fucking trailer so much that it became so widely viewed. Yeah. Why are you guys doing that?
I love the hate.
Just stop.
I love the hate watching.
Don't even talk about her. Every time
I
explained this to somebody a long time ago. Every time you tweet, every time you mention, every time you talk about
any publicity,
every fucking time. It doesn't matter if what you're saying is good or bad.
Any
it doesn't
publicity
matter what it is.
Good publicity.
You're still giving her attention. Stop giving her attention. Ignore her. I know people in England cannot ignore her. That's fine. We in America can.
I vote to piss J.K. Rowling off. We should start referring to trans HRT meds as polyjuice potions. Because that would I don't know. You don't know Harry Potter.
No. Yeah, I think I know. What you
I don't know
that's
why I thought
like
you would understand my joke.
Casting polymorph, right? Like in D&D.
No.
No.
Okay, I thought she understood Harry Potter a little bit more. I don't want to talk about it. I used to be big into
potions.
it.
Magic
it's a
potions.
potion. You make it. It's a Harry Potter thing. It's a polyjuice potion. They do it. They literally, even if your base level of Harry Potter knowledge is like just the first movie, they do it in the first movie.
Does that change your gender or no?
Yes, you can do that.
Change into whatever you want.
Whatever you want. You have to have DNA from.
Wait, does this happen or did I read this in like a?
No, she does become a cat. Yeah.
Oh, that's not what I was going to say. This is definitely a fanfic I read and not a real thing that happened then.
In the first book, they become two other characters to get into the other secret room, and then Hermione becomes a cat, and then later in the Deathly Hallows, actually no, Order of the Phoenix, I believe, they all become Harry Potter, like 9 of them or 7 of them, so that way they can trick the Death Eaters. But yes, you could become another gender, you can become whoever you want. It's like, so I thought, in terms of HRT being a polyjuice potion, it's probably like, not happy for J.K. Rowling, but I didn't know that you didn't know what that was. Because I thought everybody just knows Harry Potter stuff if we all grew up with it.
I mean, yeah, I did read them, but I thought they were shit. I grew up reading pretty sick stuff.
I used to love Harry Potter.
I wasn't reading all that little kid shit.
Oh.
Yeah. I was reading cool books.
Yeah,
I was reading about samurai.
Like comic books.
Okay, calm down. They are real books. They kind of count.
With pictures.
Look, I read way more. Like, I read actual novels. Like, I read a shitload of real novels. I was just talking to somebody about this. Like, I read fucking Alexander Dumas. I read
we don't need to list them all.
R.A. Salvatore is my favorite. Literally talked about that last episode.
Yeah.
Like, I was reading all kinds of stuff.
I was just making a joke because the universe that she created is, like, super...
gay.
Like, it should be really gay, but it's apparently not allowed to be.
I can get into the psychology of that.
You seem like you.
No, I don't know if this is right thing to say because everything, but comic book. Related to comic, you ever? I don't know how I made it, but like you ever read a Transmetropolitan?
No.
Who's it by?
Warren Ellis.
No, I have not.
No. I was just like it was Transmetropolitan.
Isn't it?
There was a bad bit. Yeah. All right. Anyway,
isn't a Transmetropolitan just what I was when I lived in the city?
All right, there you go. You made it work. All right, good stuff. All right, yeah. All right.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it certainly did. Yeah. Well.
Okay, good.
That was very
good question.
Yeah, and thank you for informing a lot about about Trans Visibility Day and like about your life, and it was very interesting to hear a lot of new stuff and to relate to. And I want to say, like, I highly agree. Give money to trans people, support them however they can.
He gives a lot of money to trans people. Yeah, no, he does.
I like the way he worded it, but support them in the best way possible.
Yeah. And what was the other thing? Oh yeah, trans rights are human rights. Yeah. Absolutely.
Giving money to trans people makes me feel like I'm homeless. Like here's
I
here's
think
a dollar.
Prostitutes.
It's like...
He was only trans prostitutes.
Oh,
right. Yeah. He is a type.
Oh, just dollar bills.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's still supporting. It's very much still
any way possible. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool. Yeah.
But I know. I mean, we all do our thing here, and if for whatever fucking reason anybody needs advice, I am open to be DM'd at any time.
Or put it in the comments.
Yeah. If it's personal, don't fucking put it in the comments. You don't need to subject
Social security number? In the
but
comments.
please, like, genuinely, like, I've been trained in how to help in multiple different ways to give resources and all that kind of stuff. Please reach out to me. Alice is also available.
I'm not
to be
trained,
spoken.
but you could reach out to me.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
a more like emotional human being. Well, I am a more
Why
logical
would
human
you
being.
say that?
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
You feel like more of a woman because I call you emotional a lot.
I'm gonna cry about it later.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but if anybody ever needs anything at all, and to even just feel supported or feel safe, like our whole group is just like a very big safe space, like, and we make it our absolute utmost priority to make sure that people feel safe of all kinds of fucking diversity, like anybody.
Yeah, feel free to reach out.
And obviously, like, her being here and our friend Kylie, like, living with us too, is like we literally brought them from other states. Like, Kylie is from fucking Ohio, moved all the way over here so she could be her real self. You know, you're from Philadelphia. I literally forced her to move here because I was like, you're not being trans in Philadelphia. We're not doing that.
It would have been all right. It turned red.
It turned red, yeah. Surprise to no one. Well, to Philadelphia, it was
There's
a
large
surprise.
reasons for that. We're not going to
Yeah.
get into Philadelphia.
The whole entire upper part of the state is the surprise.
Yeah,
That's that we forget that we're not our own. Philadelphia should just be its own state, in my opinion.
Right,
You know what I mean? We would get a lot done if that was the case. But I think, like, it's really important to just be there for people. And if anybody needs anything, we're here. We'll champion you. We'll help you do whatever. And you know, and I used to go to, like, people's doctor's appointments and shit with them to, like, help advocate and get the right meds and get the right dosages and do things in the right order, like when to get the right blood work, you know, that kind of stuff. Like, because again, these clinicians unfortunately don't have the data, and some of them haven't been to school in years. They don't have the education. They don't have the new information about what it means to be trans and what the actual practices are, how to get stuff approved by insurances. Like, that's a whole big conversation. I know literally everything. I know everything about it. So if anybody needs fucking advice, please reach out to me or reach out to Alice. I am Corey Stalia, CORYSTALIA, on literally all social media. Look for me, and
I think you got it. I think
I think I spelled that right.
Yeah.
I have dyslexia. I'm sorry, but go ahead. You are
Alice Dizo?
yes on most social media.
Just Instagram.
You're
I
just
think.
Instagram. I mean,
Yeah.
that's really the way.
And I'm real Zomner, real_Zomner at Instagram. Just
Yeah.
let me hear in
And
the podcast.
that is this week on the Self Report podcast. Have a wonderful day and happy Trans Visibility Day.
Bye.
Bye.